So you're probably aware that Liturgy has a forthcoming opera about the origin of all things. Um, and we're releasing it on Friday. So I wanted to talk a bit about my approach to this question. Of why we have the world we have, or why there's a world. I believe that the form of the answer to the question of the origin of all things has to be opera, because words alone, or like equations or something, are not adequate to answer the question, and specifically that it needs to be a kind of mythical narrative set to music. It has to be my music. um, and that, but that it also, those two elements need to be in conjunction with a more sort of methodically elaborated and critical philosophical approach to the question as well. And you need the music because there is a certain intensity of experience that can only kind of be produced by music, that is kind of like an answer in its own way. And then allegorical myth is required because there's the kind of uncanniness of the poetic, which also goes beyond the sort of conceptual realm, but you need the conceptual realm too. And I think that this is a kind of distinct, unique feature of what I do, that I'm sort of really going to bat to take all of these approaches. Okay, so my next point is that I feel like I should probably acknowledge or note or whatever that perhaps many think that the question of the origin of all things might be frivolous, or one that you would not necessarily expect to have like me answer, or that like no one can answer it, or only science can answer it, or something like that, or just that it doesn't matter, that there are more pressing things going on than, lofty questions about why there's a world. But this is to misunderstand my intention, I guess, which is, the question is, why are those pressing things going on? Why does the world, why isn't the world okay? Like what processes have led to this scenario? Does it have to be this way? So it's like, it's there's a lot of imminence to this question, and that's something about, everyone knows that like something is wrong, and you might think you know why it's wrong, but it's actually not clear. And so there are important political consequences and existential consequences to, first of all, where you're getting your answer from, whether it's something that's just kind of received from a sort of social environment that has actually an interest in like keeping you down or whatever. So you're sort of more free, I think, if you're seeking to make sense of this question in the first place. And then, additionally, like, it's an account of the past. An account of the past is a big part in setting up expectations and goals for the future, about what is possible, what is desirable. And these are, there's a lot of presuppositions out there. And it's worth, it's worth taking a look, or at least I think so. Being awake to the question of the origin of all things is perhaps a component of human freedom. And again, or not again, I don't think I already said this, but it's not so much that I think that, like, you should believe that my answer is right, although the answer that I have been at work on is offered in good faith. It's more about kind of spreading the, like, sense of questioning. So it's not like this, like, I don't know, like culty thing or something, where like my belief system is for me. So it's less L. Ron Hubbard and more Zarathustra or whatever. I'm just gonna cut in and in the video here, actually, I had planned to discuss the scientific account of the origin of all things, and then also dive into how various political orientations approach this question, and what the usefulness and strengths and weaknesses of those things are. Or I did record it, but it makes the video too long. I don't like them to be too long. And so I'll get into that. In a different video. But I also have to start talking about my own account. Though the critical dimension is just as important as the constructive dimension in philosophy. So I want to be pretty thorough in looking at different approaches and different accounts, and then kind of synthesizing and that kind of thing. So I guess I'm actually in no rush. So okay, that's it. Like and subscribe, and buy my album, which comes out on Friday. Goodbye.